Hello everyone, Riccardo Massini here, and this is vlog, and this is Radetzky's March, the road to Novara. Second edition of Sergio Schiavi, first game with similar edizioni, which was Radetzky's March, about the Battle of Novara, one of the greatest battles in our Risorgimento, the Italian Wars of Independence. Bad defeat for the Italians, we have to admit, because against the Marshal Radetzky essentially blitzkrieged the Piedmontese army during the first Italian War of Independence, 1849, and crossed the rivers of Lombardy by surprise and took by surprise the army of King Charles Albert. And King Charles Albert, King Carlo Alberto, had to abdicate after this disastrous defeat in favor of his son, King Victor Emanuele, who 10 years after became the first king of Italy, with a little help from his not so much friend, but from Garibaldi. But that is another story. So this game, the second edition, and I'm making the video to show you the different components of the second edition, so that if you possess, you own the first edition, you can decide if it is a good choice to also buy this second edition. And I'm following the game designer's notes and press releases by Sergio, so we will see every component one by one. This video is dedicated to all of you who already own the first edition, but also for people who do not have the first edition, so this will become essentially an unboxing for them. Okay, first important change is the map, rather the maps. There are two maps. These are two maps. This become a two-map game, larger hexagons and more granular map. Sergio is a fantastic cartographer, you will see incredible graphics, and this graphic is even better than the first edition. Many solutions are similar to the other great Sergio Schiavi's game, gives victory about the Battle of Chancellorsville, the American Civil War, which has a different system. This one is more similar to a classic Napoleon's last battle system. In some ways it is very different, but here it is. The graphic solutions are quite similar, and with also the maps have been somewhat revised. Also some particular elements, particular terrain features. Essentially, mostly the fortifications around Novara and Mortara, but also some rivers being slightly corrected. You see these icons have been revised. They're more in line with the Library of Napoleonic Battles somewhat, so that you will be much more at home. You feel much more at home. And anyway, also a somewhat better quality of the paper. The first edition had already great quality components, but here the quality has come a level further. Also, the counters, second great change. Bigger counters, graphics are somewhat revised, some revisions on the combat and movement values. The all-important, these are the Piedmontese counters, the all-important inclusions of independent artillery units that change many elements of the game, many dynamics of the game, since you can have massed artillery bombardments, but those bombardments require a bit more planning, because you have to move that artillery by road, and the opponent will see your movements, will try to read your maneuvers, and so on and so on. So, come on, It is 19th century warfare. That's the rule. Okay, these are, I'm showing you also the the Austrian, sorry. The Austrian, I'm Italian. The Austrian counters, here they are. Fantastic, great looking counters. Also, the command radius have been somewhat reduced, been somewhat corrected, also for the scale, for different scales, so that you'll have to keep your formations much more concentrated. Once again, a little bit more of planning. All in all, the readability is better, more careful, a choice of colors. Once again, first edition was fine, but this is exceptional. This is fantastic. I really love it. Also, another introduction is the shaken result, which, okay, here we are. Oh, okay, here we are. Also the introduction of the Italian flag icon on some of the countries, which was somewhat missing from the first edition, but okay, here we are the CRT. Okay, CRT, you get material in Italian, but don't worry, also in English. The CRT has been somewhat revised, the shaken result has been introduced, there's a dealer table, some revisions. 90% of the system is the same, but that 10% is exactly that 10% that creates great changes overall in the overall dynamics of the game. Also, the rule book has been revised. Rule book has historical notes by Marco Scardigli, which is a great Italian military historian. Also, Alessandro Barbero, I think that you know him because he is another military historian of international fame, and he is also a wargamer, and also Marco Scardigli. Those are two military historians that are active wargamers. It's a tradition, it's a very Italian tradition. Many of our military historians are active wargamers. And also Paolo Ciri. And Paolo Ciri is another historian that tells us about the conditions of the actual battlefield, that if you come in Italy, this is a rare possibility in Italy to see a battlefield so well preserved. And the review book, of course, those notes are not, but the review book is translated also in English. So you have, and it has been, the structure of the review book has been revised, so it is a bit better. And some things have been corrected, also thanks to the feedback of the players. We also have setup sheets for the different scenarios, the campaign setup, and they're graphically very, very good, very, very useful. Okay, this is an advertisement for a military history book about Novara, and it is great to have that in a wargame. Once again, as I said in Italy, wargames and military history are two very close fields. There is much proximity within them, and there is a new element of this game, optional rules, essentially by Marco Scardigli, one of the two historians that I mentioned before. Hidden movement and strategic movement, a bit like Chancellorsville. So this is an entirely new part of the rules. The rule book can be downloaded from the Dissimula website. So, as you see, a lot of components. So to get back to our first question, is it worth it to buy the second edition if I already have the first edition? Because I know that there are many first editions of the game that have been distributed internationally. Well, I'm going to reverse the question. Why? Because I do have already the first edition, but I bought the second edition. And the question maybe is not should I buy or not buy the second edition, because as you see, there's so much stuff, by the way, that it was been impossible to make a simple upgrade pack, an update pack, because every single component has been changed. Is it worth it? Yeah, I bought it. it is an entirely new game. This is almost like a director's cut version of a movie. The first condensed version that you saw in the cinema, okay, it's fine, it's nice, but this revised director's cut edition is wow. It's not 2 hours, it's just 3 hours and a half. Great, fantastic. Okay, so it is no brainer to have this second edition. The first edition that I have, I'm not going to resell it. Why? Because it was such a fun game in itself that I save it when I want a lighter treatment, a more condensed treatment of the same campaign, because it was fine. I know that some people have a problem with 2 maps. The first edition is just 1 map. But also, it is not a problem to have 2 maps here in the second edition. Why? Because the game is really simple. It is even simpler than the library or Napoleonic battles, where really have low to moderate complexity. You will have absolutely 0 problems in tackling it if you are already an expert, but also if this is your first war game, not so many problems. Even with the second edition, it is just big, but it's not a problem, and it is not even so long. There are also partial scenarios that use also a portion of the map, so no problems about that. But especially if you have a wargaming friend that can teach you, that can guide you, after no time you will be playing this and you will be enjoying the experience. The graphic is fantastic, the quality of the components is so good. So as I said, I am keeping the first edition as a lighter treatment. When I want a 1 mapper about the Battle of Novara, well, it's fine, it's nice. There's a mixed action, cheat pool activation system that I really like, and really works. Here it is a bit better, a bit more granular, it requires a bit more planning, but it also, the first edition is very fine. So, but this second is okay. If you do not have the game, buy it. It is more than recommended. If you do not have the first edition, absolutely. But also, if you have the first edition, buy the second edition. It is recommended absolutely, because the changes are so many that you will rediscover it. But for me, keep the first edition because it is also fine as well. The game is not different, but it is. Okay, I don't know how to explain it in a better way. Anyway, this is a confirmation of Sergio's professional qualities, of the solidity of the Simula. The Simula is also working on another game about the Italian campaign 1943-1945 in the World War II, Soft Underbelly. This is a much lighter war game. This is more or less like a bonsai game, and Nakagura is also an Itanu variant. So an entirely different type of game. This is a great game by a great company, led by a great designer, aided by some great historians. I'm sorry for those who do not speak Italian. Why? Because Sergio is also beginning a podcast, an audio podcast about his experience as game designer, as cartographer, his choices, the design process of Radetzky's March, and together with these 2 great historians, Marco Scardiglia and Alessandro Barbero, that speak about the game itself, because they are also wargamer, and about the military campaign, because they are mainly historians. So it's a great product. I really recommend it. As you have seen, there are many changes, not so subtle, and this is a very great experience. A very great opportunity to experience a military campaign that is almost unknown outside of Italy and also in Italy itself. Anyway, I really love this system. I hope that to see this system used for other campaigns of the Risorgimento, of course Solferino, but I know that Sergio is working on something about Volturno and other campaigns. Also, I hope that to see more games by Sergio about the American Civil War, since I really love to give us victories. So, this has been Radetzky's March, Road to Novara, second edition of Radetzky's March. And really, thank you for having me here, and take care, have a good time, and as always, don't be scared, it's just war games. Ciao.